Welcome to the next episode of Revolutionary Talk. We're starting the new series on meditation.
Oh yeah.
You all had a great response to the first episode on meditation, so we're digging in deeper to a new series just on meditation.
100% meditation. I'm excited. Can we talk about it?
I would love to.
Let's go. Didn't know if we were going to meditate on it or not.
Well, hopefully we did that beforehand. So this first episode in the series is all about surrendering / like creating space. So one of the toughest parts of meditation is just setting aside the time and space for it. So what do you all think on that?
For sure. I mean, the hardest thing I think for me initially in starting was sitting down because I'm so go all over the place. I'm very Vata. I love to be busy. But like setting down 30 minutes, I didn't start at 30, but setting down 20 minutes, 10 minutes was so difficult. But once you get in the routine of things, it's very easy. And as we'll cover later, it's very like refreshing.
It is. Yeah, and I agree too. It was when I was first introduced to meditation, it was in high school, but we weren't told it was meditation. It was just give yourself some time to relax, I think was really all they could use. It's a public school. So having that time, even if it was just like that couple minutes, it's hard to just disconnect from everything else.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've noticed that a lot more recently. A lot of people are like, wow, it's really challenging to do 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or thinking 4 hours is like mind blowing too for a lot of people. So
because everything's go these days, like you said, and just being able to sit down for that long, like even just stopping what you're doing, stopping the madness, I think is the most difficult part. So,
and why do you think that is? Is it like maybe it's the fear of listening to what is in our head?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked this because I saw a really good movie. Have you ever heard? So the story is two monks, or a monk's passing a guy on a mule, and the monk asks the guy, he's like, "Where are you going?" And the guy's like, "I don't know." And long story short, he's running from everything. He's just going. He's not thinking. And if you're endlessly running and not giving yourself time to sit and think about where you're going, are you actually going anywhere, or is the field goal post always moving? Which is a whole nother,
Or your wheels constantly spinning and you're not actually going anywhere. You're putting work into it.
Yeah.
But are you actually producing fruit?
Exactly. Which you find out in meditation when you take the time to create those intentions, really center where that end goal is going to be.
Absolutely. So finding your space then, what's that? For me, it's like just, okay, for me anymore. Like I've had this practice over the last few years, but just finally like, okay, I can just close my eyes down and be able to escape from other things around me in wherever that space happens to be.
And how did you, initially too, how do you get to that space? Like for instance, did you start by setting a time that you were going to start meditating? Because I know, for instance, like what we did with yoga with YTT was every Saturday we knew we were going into yoga and we were meditating. So then I took that momentum and was like, all right, I'm going to start at 8 o'clock every night. I'm going to meditate. And then somebody would say, hey, you want to hang out? Nope, got to meditate. But that's how I had to hold myself accountable to even create the space to, get to this space.
Yeah, that's great that you were keeping yourself accountable that way. I think way early on, like 10 years ago at this point.
Whew.
I know.
It's a decade.
Wow. Yeah, that's when I got out, finished massage therapy school. I was just like blown today thinking about that. But anyway, yeah. As sporadic as I feel like my schedule always has been, just getting that, hold myself accountable to just doing a couple minutes before I went to bed, I think at the time was what I did. And just to build that up. And then when I went through the yoga training, we were also put through that challenge of meditating throughout the different weeks and stuff. And then,
That's interesting though, because I've always found that, when I've done my best meditating and like really just like thinking and being like having my time to myself, it's the best time for me has been first thing in the morning. So it's interesting for you too. It's later at night when at that point my mind is like racing so much throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's crazy, you guys.
Kind of a good
find
time
it
for
in
your brain to shut down before bed is kind of what I think really happens. So
Yeah.
who knows? But I got to try in the morning now. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the secret of my new life. I don't know.
Practicing in the morning, I've done that too. And
I've had-
it's a great way to start the day, for
Yeah.
sure. But then, I mean, like you said, having everything racing through your mind, for me, it's been a great way to just help it all escape so that I go to bed on a clean slate. And that way I'm not feeling, I don't know, I don't really sleep super deep as it is. And so if I'm really heavily thinking about something sometimes will wake me up.
Gotcha.
And so
Interesting.
cleaning it up before bed helps.
So, does it matter that people have a specific time and place for it, or can you be more flexible as long as you like get it done?
I think it helps to have a time and a place, I would say, because then it's kind of like sleeping. Like you sleep in the same room, but your brain knows what's happening in each room. Like you go to the living room to watch TV, or you have a study room, you study there. Like it already trains your brain. So then it essentially, I think if you have a meditation room or a space that you meditate and around the same time, then your brain's already wired to be like, oh, I already know what I'm doing. And I think early on you'd have less difficulty with rapid thoughts and more like your brain would already be kind of going parasympathetic nervous system or relaxation.
I'd agree, because there's a lot of stimuli happening throughout
Yeah.
a lot of our spaces. And
Yeah.
so if you're in a new space, it's like, ooh, shiny objects everywhere. Like, let me look at all these things. And it's hard to focus and calm down, unless it's a place, which would be really cool, to start seeing more, I don't know, like mobile spots or just satellite places where you can go and meditate in and just escape, like at airports. or
Yeah, like a
something.
meditation
That-
cafe or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they're designed for that. So
Nice. That's a good
Interesting.
idea, actually.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, is this something that you two would recommend somebody get into daily, or how frequent? Like, say they're interested in it.
When
How
you
do they dive
say-
in?
I mean, the more consistent, really, it's just a consistency thing. The more you can practice it, the better you'll get at it. It's just like working out, flexing muscles. You're not going to just gain that huge bicep by lifting a 5-pound weight once. You got to build up and work on it over time. It's the same way I feel like with meditation, right?
Yeah, I agree. Just consistency with it, and you start reaping the benefits early, but then it almost, at that point, just gets so addicting of seeing all the positive results that you just endlessly want to keep doing it. And that's been kind of my whole thing of just, I didn't think I'd ever meditate every day, and now it's like I'm going at this time and just crushing it. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Any other tips you'd give to somebody who's interested in dabbling in it?
I would say just create a space somewhere that is really just your safe space too. I mean, and it doesn't have to be like, drapes and all this stuff like extra like you'd see in like a Zen garden. But like, for instance, I set out some crystals and I have my notebook and I might even pull some cards, and it's that little space that every day I know I can get some answers and clear my mind, and it's so peaceful.
Yeah, and I would say, as far as the act or practice, I guess, of meditating, really, like if you're just completely brand new to it, don't worry about if it's supposed to be done a certain way or if you're doing
That's
it
huge.
wrong or
Yeah.
what are you supposed to feel or what are you supposed to experience. Really come back to how you're breathing. Just notice you inhaling and exhaling. Those are the only things you need to think about, honestly. And anything else that comes into your mind during that time, acknowledge it and then let it go. And then just address it later. But that's where I started,
Yeah.
at least. It helped me.
No, exactly. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, love it. You actually tied it right into episode 2, which
I
is
know.
coming up next
I
week.
was like,
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
namaste.
Namaste.
So, obviously, meditation is a very deep topic, so we're going to explore several areas in this series. As Kristen perfectly teased, next week is on breath work. So, come back for episode 2 of the meditation series, and we appreciate you for joining us today.